stories fly. Who's the best? Fans can't lie. Touchdowns, tackles, we discuss. Feel the rush. Come join us.
Welcome back to Fan Zone Live. I'm Scott Burke. As with me as always is Tim Capper. Trip on my words here. But we've got Coach Wells of the Washington Wolfpack with us this week. Coach, congrats on the win. Welcome.
Let's go, baby. Stop playing with me. You know what time it is. Here we are.
So huge win this week. You know, you kind of been building a little rough start to the season. First 2 weeks weren't pretty, but then you came into Albany and put up a fight against the champs, and then finally cracked that win barrier this week. So how's the temperature over there? How are you feeling?
Temperature feels great, man. It's just, building is something different. We've been able to provide top tier guys in here, a competitive year of guys. And then now it's just really bridging the gap of them working together, all in the machine and making sure we do the right things, do our job, execute, and do our 1/8.
So take us through what changed. What happened over between week 2 and week 3 that flipped this team around?
The continued belief, obviously on the offensive side of the ball, which obviously is the biggest conversation around, right? Being a head coach and the offensive coordinator going into the third year, first 2 games only scoring 3 points, and those coming from the kicking side of the game. Week number 1, and just kind of start with that. We had Vincent Espinoza, seasoned vet, been in the game for a long time. It just was kind of a shaky road. First game, missing guys that are wide open. It was one of those struggles that just didn't sit well. Obviously, he had some time to readjust. We bring in Ave, who actually signed with us earlier in the year, but had a baby, so he had to stay back home, kind of deal, get his things together. And then, here comes the trip, right? You play Nashville, which is a team that was in the championship last year, top tier, great program, ran by Hall of Famer, great athletes all the way around. And they built a really dope team, especially that front line in Nashville. And then so you get a guy that has played in the IFL, lower level as what I would look at it for, comparable to us as the AF1 being the premier team. Or the Premier League, first game in, so it was a struggle really trying to get him to understand the differences between AF1 and the IFL. And, we all knew we belong in this league. And so going against Albany, regardless if it was jet lag or not, we knew what time it was, which is, again, execute, do our job, continue believing, and most importantly, do our 1/8. And that's why you've seen a shift in what we had going on.
I know, obviously, as a coach, you want to go 1-0 every week, but at least I wanted to ask you something here, Coach. Is that, everybody has seen what the Wolfpack have done over the last 2 seasons in AF1.
Yeah.
What have you been able to do to improve the franchise? Because, most people will look at the record, at the points you've scored or the points you haven't scored in arena football. What have you done to be able to turn them around besides the players and instill a winning formula in Washington to make sure that, don't necessarily look at what's happened in the past, but try to get them to concentrate on what could be coming up in the future?
Yeah, I know we talked a little bit before starting here. The biggest thing, right, when you're building a program from scratch, from zero, this is something that there's no coach that's here. It's our program. You have to really believe in the things that you're preaching, right? Which I always say the standard is the standard, right? Our culture and what we do. You'll see us show up to games in button-ups or business attire. That's stuff the players have to buy into, right? I could say it all day as a coach, but if the players aren't buying into it, then what is your program doing? These are the top tier things that are going on. You're not going to shake a man's hand or anyone's hand sitting down. That's our culture. We're not going to say the P word in our program. P word, I don't know if you guys heard what the P word is. We're going to say the word training. as far as to where we're going, right? There's a lot of things in how we do things, right? Because we say how you do anything is how you do everything, that build the recipe for our program. The wins is just a byproduct of the belief system, right? And that's something that we're building here is the belief and the want to. These guys want to win. They want to win for this city. They want to win for the community. They want to win for this program. And they're doing those things, which is, again, buying in. And now we're getting we're getting a quick look at what it looks like. We just slayed one of the champions from last year, NAL or not. They were a champion last year and they got knocked down. We almost knocked down the champions from this year. Just keep watching, right? And hold the receipts.
Yeah, we've spoken to your owner, and I wanted to ask you this too. It's like, how frustrating for you is it as a coach? Up until the last 2 weeks, I mean, your team had only scored over 20 points. I think it was 9 out of the last 10 games. Hadn't scored over 20 points in the last 9 out of 10 games. Is it frustrating knowing that that your players could play better, knowing that 20 points normally won't get you a win in arena football? But how do you look at it? As I said, I know you don't always want to look at the past and look forward, but is it something that's always on your mind? Did we lose him?
I don't know. I think he's got some settings issues. I see the mute button going on and off a couple times here. So give him a second here to get it rolling. One of the things to look at too, while he's getting his stuff fixed, their next 6 games all have the exact same. Every team has the exact same record as they do right now. They're all 1-3.
What? Yes. I was about to say the one after that is.
Yeah, and then you got Nashville and Minnesota.
Who is currently 1-5.
1-5. Yeah, but basically they've all of them have 1 win.
They're 1 win. Yeah, they're 1 win teams.
All the way through for their next 7 games. Like they've got a cool opportunity here to kind of make some moves if they're keep building on. I think we got a new session here.
Yeah.
There you go. I'm black. My bad. I'm back.
No worries. I don't know how much what you caught with him there.
Yeah. What did you hear?
I got right to where you said you were talking to the owners, and then.
Oh, okay. Okay. Well, I mean, as a coach, is it frustrating for you? Because as you know, usually you need to score an X amount of points in arena football to be a competitive team.
Sure.
Prior to the last 2 weeks, you'd only scored over 20 in the last 9 of 10 games. For you as the head coach, is that frustrating?
Not just as the head coach, but also as the offensive coordinator. I mean, definitely not accustomed to scoring minimal points, especially in this type of game. My outdoor career, we were averaging over 30 plus. That's outdoor football. You go inside the wall, it's 28 by 6 sideline to sideline. It's only 50 yards. There's not a lot you shouldn't be able to do when you got a guy running downhill full speed. Now, of course, when you watch film, because film don't lie, right? On the surface level, as a fan, when you're watching film, you're looking at, okay, 1st and 10, 2nd and 12, down in distance, X, Y, and Z on points not scored kind of deal. But for us as the coach, when we do what we call tell the truth, and we're watching the film from the bird's eye view, who's open, who's not, the levels, guys are running wide open. You know what I'm saying? And I tell my team, I can't throw you the ball. You know what I'm saying? So the thing that I've learned more and more as, I get more comfortable in this game is I have to do a better job developing my quarterbacks. That's my job. As an offensive coordinator, you think it's just schematically, you got to put these things together. You put them out there. You see, pre-snap, post-snap, where's the jack? Where are the open windows? Let's just go through the progression and everything is what it is. But it's really not just that. And those are the things I'm developing as a coach and more as an offensive coordinator as well. So to answer the question, is it frustrating? Beyond frustrating. Beyond frustrating. Because even scoring 30 points or whatever is still not enough. It's not enough. Like we should be on the 60, 70 mark every game, 100%, especially the type of athletes that we got.
Well, if you think about it too, you guys scored more than the game that went into overtime this week. I think everybody started off at 21 points, if I'm not mistaken, Scott, or 28 points that they started off.
It was under 30. I remember that.
Either way, it was under 30. Both teams had under 30 going into overtime, and that's not arena football. That's not arena football. Whether you win in overtime or not, it's not arena football. By the way, quick question, Coach. Obviously, you guys won on a walk-off. What's the league rule for kicking the extra point on a walk-off touchdown? Because it happened twice in the last 2 weeks, and Scott and I are wondering the question.
Man, let me tell you, when you're asking about rules for this, bruh, I'm just here so I don't get fined, okay?
Okay. Do you know the
That's
rule?
A perfect Seattle answer right there, too.
Just in general, though, Coach, is there a rule for it? Just leave it at that? I'll leave it at that. Okay, I retract my question.
Thank you.
Well, going to that Nashville, I was at that Nashville game, and yes, the score is 45-3. It was ugly, but in person, it didn't feel as ugly as the score showed.
For sure.
Like, you guys were getting pressured, and that was a big part of it. But without looking at the scoreboard, without paying attention, I would have thought you guys would have scored more, just because the game felt tighter. I don't know if there's any real way to put it other than that. The game actually felt tighter than that.
It was. And, again, going back to, like, I reffed high school football as a basketball ref, right? And I've learned that, having hecklers in the stands, you're going to have that kind of deal. You never know what it's like to be a ref until you have the whistle and you have the stripes on. And one of the things that we spoke all the time was we don't want to be in the way. Obviously you don't want to, mess up the rhythm or the flow of the game. But then there's always those, I got to have that one. You know what I'm saying? So for us, the one that bothers me the most is the illegal contact. They spoke on the league that, 5 yards after the illegal contact is going to be called, we're going to be really tight on that, and then we can loosen it up. It's never been tight. It's been completely loose. So when we look at the arena game, it's all about momentum. And when we have guys that are in the end zone that are being held and we're not calling it, we're not calling those things, and let's say it's a third down, that's a momentum call. If it's a fourth down, that's a momentum call. We're not going to beg for things. It's just do your job. You want me as a head coach and as the offensive coordinator to do my job, to put points on the board, to make it more competitive, and yeah. Well, when are you going to do your job? That's where I'm at. You know what I'm saying? But we're just going to play ball. We're going to do what we're supposed to do. We're going to be competitive. We're going to put up points when the refs allow us to, and we're going to have a lot of fun doing it.
So I got to ask, what's with the gloves this season? I don't remember seeing them previously.
They've been on all 3 years, big dog.
All 3 years? Okay.
Yeah. So I call hand signals. So you can actually see the numbers that I call on my wrist card by my gloves. Nobody realized they think it's just trying to be cool and all that. There's a method to the madness. So when I call plays, you can't really see my hand, what number I'm calling. Mm-hmm. If I do it like this, with regards to if I do it like this. So that's the method to my gloves, so people can stop asking me about it.
Well, that's a brilliant move, honestly.
Oh, is it? You know what I'm saying?
I would have thought about that, but no, it makes a lot of sense.
Yeah,
it does.
Yeah, especially some of these arenas with the lighting, you never know what it's going to be.
Nashville, for sure.
Mm-hmm. I think that makes a big difference.
But just to lean back to that Nashville question, man, it was a way tighter game, especially with, Ave being his first game in. I said he's special, man. That kid is really, really special. And the fact that we were able to do a trade with Albany to get Eric Phoenix as well is another chess move, man. Like, I know I just seen some crap that some people are putting out there, Washington needs to just wash their whole program away and, blah, blah, blah. And they're still making trades and moves. And, like, in all respect to the game, it's hard to win a championship if you only have one quarterback. What happens if your number one goes down? And Eric Phoenix is a number one as well, which makes our competitive trainings that much more competitive. Everyone is still working, to be on that 21-man roster kind of deal. When you get people that are complacent, then you find that the competition stops, and then you're starting to look mediocre, and we don't want that.
Where's the walk-off win rank for you, Coach? Because walk-off wins are great to have. Obviously, you have the ball last, and you win.
Yeah.
Despite what may have gone against you throughout the entire game, you came away with a dub. Where does that rank for you when it comes to your arena head coach career?
This isn't the first walk-off win. So for us, it's, a win is a win. We'll take the win, right? We need that in our column. Obviously, we need some people to hold their receipts kind of deal. But for us, it's one of those things that the game shouldn't even been that close. In respect to our program and what we're building, and our boys understand this, it was just not acceptable for us. Yes, okay, we'll take the win for sure, right? Yes, I needed it in my career and whatever. But that's not enough for us. We'll go to Tell the Truth here in a few hours to watch the film and break it down. There's a lot of things that need to be cleaned up. On a professional level, too many guys on the offense had their shirts out. That is disgusting, right? That's not a good product from us. That's not a good product of what I'm carrying for our culture. And the boys they're going to pay for it, and they understand that. The type of penalties that we had. Now, some of them a little frustrating. How my tight end got ran over because we went on 2, and they said he's the one that false started but just got knocked on his ass. I'm just saying we'll take that, and our boys are going to have to pay for it. Not calling their guys offsides when he's 5 yards downfield before they snap the ball. We'll just deal with it. But again, the game was too close. Too many times that we got the ball right first and we didn't go down and score. That's arena football. You need to score on every series. That's how you win games. You got to score on every series, get 1 or 2 turnovers, and then you should win the game. So lots to clean up still. Mm-hmm. Not the product that we wanted to see, but we got a W, so some of y'all can see what a W looks like. We know what it's like. We earned it, and we're just going to keep getting better.
So what have you picked up in the last 2.5 years now about this game in particular, and what's been the biggest learning curve to try to come with playing the arena game specifically?
Yeah, I mean, one of the biggest things is you don't need it all in one bite, right? They say the best way to eat an elephant is one bite at a time. And again, that goes back to really helping develop our quarterbacks. You get into this game and you see a guy 6'6", 6'4", running wide open on a post. You're like, I need to take that shot. When you got a guy that's sitting on the wall for 5 yards, you could take that and just continue to move the ball down the field, take care of the clock. So the biggest thing for me is really focusing on just take what they give you. You know what I'm saying? And if you find that, your quarterback is getting big-eyed and he really wants to take those big shots, stop calling plays that allow him to even look at the big shot. Just have a hitch right there, a slant, something small where you only have right here, right now to get rid of it, or get your ass out of the pocket and go get you some.
Out of curiosity, and this is kind of an aside in itself, Coach. When it comes to you, obviously you're in season currently.
Yeah.
But obviously you're always looking for people that you think would fit, whether it be the arena game or for to become a member of the Wolfpack specifically. When you see, as an example, Canadian Football League camps just opening up yesterday, do you and your coaching staff take a good look at who may not make the rosters, who may get cut for the first round of cuts in the next 3 days, and et cetera, et cetera? Are you looking at the camps themselves to try to determine maybe that person may be a good fit for Wolfpack football?
Yeah, so through my third year being the head coach, one thing that I'm beyond excited about are the relationships that I built, to this point. It was a long time that I've been in the arena game, right? So my connections aren't as deep as the Hall of Famers that are here. Even my guy, Coach Jones, he's been in the arena game for a minute. So for me to be able to, number one, develop let's just call it a competitive team who's really running to the expansion team right off the rip. Not a lot of people, and so then you don't have a competitive year number one. So year number two, now you're at the bottom of the barrel. Now who's running to the expansion team? Because now only thing that is on the surface is, oh, you have a semi-pro coach inside of the arena trying to coach pro football kind of deal. So now the narrative is like, well, do I really want to go play for that coach? But when you get under my coaching is different than what's happening around the world. Do I feel like at some point in time I will be known as one of the greatest and or a Hall of Fame coach? Absolutely. Because I believe in building men. It's not just about winning and losing games. It's past that. It's deeper rooted. So into answering your question, I've been able to build relationship with agents around the arena game, around the CFL, around the NFL, player personnel that are already working those angles for me. And I stay closely connected with them, not just because I need you right now. It's more, we're building a relationship. So when I hit you up and I see something on your social, you just got married, or your daughter just got married, or you just went on a vacation, and I'm just like, hey, I hope you had a great time. That's the deeper rooted and what we're building and what my boys understand and what we're building kind of deal. So yes, we're looking for those, and we want people that fit the program, right? The right guys on the bus and the wrong guys off. We don't want to provide you, top tier living and great training and, great resources, as in like the gym and the food and all the things that, programs may be borderline minimal. Great coaching, we have all of that. So now it makes it more attractive to those guys to come here to be on that professional level, because that's what we have here.
Yeah, go back. It's good talking about those personalities and getting to know the people. I'm kind of disappointed just now learned that we had 2 brand new dads at that game in Nashville that week. So that man, there was, Tyler looked a little off, and part of that was you guys, but Tyler looked a little off because he hadn't practiced the guys all week. You had a new quarterback, new baby dad. Like, man, that kind of changes that whole narrative of that game for sure.
Absolutely. And you use the P word. See, that's the P word we don't use. And when players use the P word, I don't care who it is, they're doing 10 push-ups. So if you wouldn't mind, I just need my 10 push-ups because we don't say the P word. Yeah, that's where we're at.
I'll have to get you afterwards.
I appreciate it, big dog. And let me give you the mindset behind it, right? Because, it sounds like the little things, but we say, right, the little things turn into the big things as the big things are everything, right? And for a mindset wise, musicians use the P word. They P word their instruments, those cute little instruments. When have you ever heard the Navy SEALs or, military, the Marines, when are they going to go out and P word their firearms so that they can go to Iraq or wherever they're going and P word around? Like, no, they train, and then they execute. And that's our mindset. We want to train when we go to training, and then when we get onto the field, we want to execute. That's why we don't use the P word.
You're definitely bringing a younger mentality. I think we started seeing that in the early days of the 2024 AFL, a younger coaching mentality that the arena game really hasn't seen. And I love these guys. I love Arbet. I love Walker and all these guys. They've been around a long time. They've got a different old school mentality when it comes to this. And I see you bringing a kind of different perspective, more a fresher approach. And it's neat to see. I think you're starting to build something. So, seeing that approach potentially, like I said, grow and seeing what can come out of this is kind of an interesting story in itself.
No, I appreciate it. The game has changed, man, and you got to change with it, or you get lost in it, and that's what's happening. That's the thing that people don't understand inside of our program and what's happening and why we're so connected, our program. But again, it's not my job to say I told you so, or look at me, or look at us, or look what we're doing. Like, no matter what you do, you're gonna have people hating. And great, that's part of it. If people aren't talking about you, then you're not doing nothing big enough. You know what I'm saying? And God put me here, so the only one I care about is him. And so the things that I'm giving my guys are going to be way more deeply rooted, so that when they go home inside of their smaller communities, they're going to be able to impact them more. We can't change the world, but we can start by impacting our circle of influence.
And it got brought up again in chat, so I gotta pull it up. We did talk about this earlier. Gloves are for visibility, so you can signal in plays.
Yep.
Yeah, we talked about that a little bit earlier. The other thing Tim and I were talking about, it was when you were reconnecting earlier, is your next 6 opponents, all have 1 win, just like you guys. That seems like a huge opportunity for you guys.
You want to say that for the people in the back that didn't hear you?
Let's do that one more time. Your next 6 opponents all only have 1 win. The same amount of wins you guys have.
Man, but I'm a semi-pro coach. It's weird to me. Don't worry. Let me take a drink of my coffee.
It's funny too. Sometimes they'll look at the league itself, Coach, as tiers. Earlier in this, I know we're only 5 weeks in, but it's funny that the league is actually now, if everybody looks at the standings, it takes everything into consideration. It's now really, instead of a 3-tier league, it's actually now a 2-tier league, and anything can happen. It doesn't matter who you play. You just got to take advantage of the opportunity that you're given.
Amen.
And I'm sure you're that type of head coach. Yes, your next 6 opponents only have 1 win, but you still got to go 1-0 every week.
Absolutely.
So,
and when you're going 1-0, it's not even about the other team that you're going against, right? Because when we look at, we beat Beaumont, but it was a sloppy game on our end, right? So we have got to execute better. Everything has got to be more polished than what was demonstrated there. So when you go 1-0, or when you go do your 1/8, it starts in the film room. Now clean those things up. Now go onto the training field and go implement those things over and over and over. You don't have to do a lot of things. You just got to do a small thing really well. And that's what we're looking at doing. And we just continue to get better at doing those smaller things. And it's going to be a lot of fun, man. It's going to be a lot of fun watching us stack these wins. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah. I know you don't ever want to get ahead of yourself, but man, if you guys could knock out these next 6 and you're 7-3 going playing Nashville at home.
I was about to say, Scott, let's let us do the speculating. We need to do
I'm just saying that could be a great matchup looking that week.
We need to do the speculating. Let Coach just listen. We'll speculate.
There you go.
You know what I mean?
I like
we don't want to put words. We don't want somebody to pull a clip later on of an audio clip and use it as bulletin board material.
Yes.
We'll speculate. Let me ask you this one question. We can actually get off the topic of wins and losses for the moment. There is a historical history of arena football in Everett. What to you? What does arena football mean to the area? Considering, as I said, it's been expansive. There's been a little bit of indoor football too, but really it started off with the Everett Hawks and the AF2.
Yeah.
What is arena football? What is arena football like in Everett? What does it mean to the community?
Everything. That's the importance of stacking these wins. And for me, that's why there's so much more pressure. when I first started, I don't know if you could tell, I got a little bit of energy. You know what I'm saying? And people have bought into it, and then of course, when you're building any business, right? Because that's really what this is. It's a business, right? It's not just arena football. There's more to the engine than what you see on the surface. And so when you feel like you have a Ferrari engine that's moving like a Miata, you're probably going to get a little pissed off and be like, wait, why is my multi-million-dollar Ferrari engine not revving like it should? Like someone that sold me a lemon kind of deal. And that's me, right? As to say, I didn't sell you a dream. This is what the future is. It is a coach that's full of energy, that's lively, that believes in what he's speaking on, that is inspiring these men to do something different, something greater. See, my passion comes a little bit deeper than just the surface. Like I almost had my hand cut off in college, and the doctor said I'd never play football again, but I ended up getting my hand put back together. I went to college at Sescu's. I ran a 4.28 on grass. I went back to Eastern Washington where Paul Wolf was, and he said you would never play for Eastern ever. So I found a semi-pro team. Here goes another semi-pro move. Hard work, drive, determination, the will to want. And for me to say, it won't be because of you, it'll be because of God, that I found Sam Adams. I was playing for the Spokane Nightmare, a semi-pro team, put some work on the Everett, the Juanita team, Everett Hawks. And then what we called the Everett Hawks before we turned into, nonetheless, he flew me out to play on their team, me and my guy, Larry Cash. And then they turned into the arena team, which is the team that I ended up making. And that started my 7-year career. So the passion that I have is what I'm instilling in my videos, in my interviews, into the culture, into the team, so that when these fans say Everett football, this Washington Wolfpack football, they're really howling with passion, with conviction. And when we start to take over and it's no longer Albany football and it's Washington Wolfpack football, it's because we're doing all the right things. We're taking care of the right people. We're providing the right things on and off of the field. We got school programs. We got, IRA accounts that guys are getting for Winbone. Like we're doing things that other programs aren't even considering. And that's why we're going to be the top tier. And all it takes is for a couple more wins to shut more people up. Lovey, go get her, please.
I love your passion, Coach.
I keep waiting for footsteps above my head too, so you're all good. That's like I said, that's kind of what I was referring to. Energy. It's that earlier. Is that energy, that kind of like I say, youthful spirit that this league just hasn't seen before. And it's funny you kind of point out. I think it's great that everybody is pointing towards Albany, saying that's what we want. That's where we want to be. That's our ultimate goal. Is we want to be the next Albany. And one, that shows how great Albany is. I mean, hands down, they're
100%.
But just that doing things right to that degree, and that should be the goal for everybody. It's just do things to that level, to do things that right.
At the standard level, like what do we want? We keep talking about we want the AF1 to be the premier, the standard, the blah, blah, blah. Then do that, bro. You can't change the rule book up all the time. You can't have people asking like, hey, what about the walk-off field goal? Oh, what's the rule about the jack out of the box or in the box? Like, it's just got to be like, that's the standard. For us in our program, the standard's the standard. We don't just say that. Again, you're not shaking people's hands, sitting down. You're not going to use the P word. You don't come to meetings in open-toe shoes. You do the right things. You come to our games, to the arena with a button-up or business attire. You are going to be a professional. You're going to carry yourself as such. And we're creating the standard. Yeah, do I want to lose? No. Losing sucks on any level. I don't care if I'm playing video games with my kid. I hate losing. So you think it's as a head coach or offensive coordinator, like, yeah, here you go. Here's that program. Oh, no points. Like, bruh, I know that's garbage. I understand it. But once the wheels start turning, what I won't say is, oh, it was too close because we're jet lagged. I'll say, nah, man, we got to get back to the drawing board. We got to do the right thing. We just didn't execute. We didn't do our 1/8 as a whole, as a unit. There's things that we need to, I'm going to take ownership that we didn't do something at the coaching level to produce the product that needs to be out there. Because I believe in the AF1 and the standard, and that's what we're creating.
Last thing I have for you, Coach, is you got a very familiar opponent this week.
Yeah,
the Oregon Lightning. You got them 3 more times this season. What's it like playing a team that often and one that's that close? I mean, the travel's nice, but is it difficult to have that same opponent that often? Is it?
That's a great question. There's 2 ways to it, especially in the seat right now. Like right now, we don't care who we play. We're ready right now. You know what I'm saying? I love Coach Jones. You know, that's my guy. You know, we've built a really great relationship. Here's a question. How come nobody's fired up talking about, because they were like, oh, this should be a good game between Oregon and Nashville, and they got their ass whooped. Nobody said anything. You know what I'm saying? Like, so then you think, how many times you play Oregon, it's just like if you go to training and you're going against your defense, they know what your tendencies are. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? They know what's going to happen. They're playing things a little different than they would play during the game. And I talk to our defensive coordinator about that quite often. When you guys start getting into like the flow of things, like, yo, right now we're in a position where you guys are running scout defense, run the scout defense. You're just mad because right now we're cooking you. Don't take the shit personal. Sorry about my verbiage. Don't take it personal. You know what I'm saying? Like you're running scout. You're supposed to get cooked. That's because we're watching the film. We're dialing it up. Same thing with Oregon. It's like you're playing your big brother or your little brother, and no matter what, this is one they get to feel.
Does it get more personal because of that?
I and again, just to each its own, I so feel they got away. I would at any time, if y'all ever feel like it, check schedules. If y'all ever want to just sit down and just like go over film, I love film. I'm a film junkie. You know what I'm saying? Like we can just go over film, like the mindset. I'm talking about down and distance, the hash marks, the mindset between, a specific concept, what I'm looking at the defense, when I'm calling a specific play. Like I'm down for all that. But when Jones came in, he was on a personal feel. He thought I slided him a little bit on something he already knew. But sometimes you got to take things out on other people, and that's people's standard. That's not mine. I'm gonna just take it for what it's worth. This is my 3rd year in. We're turning the program around. I've said it. I stand on it, whether people believe it or not. I just feel like people are starting to believe it and they're starting to see it. And for those that still don't believe, that's okay. Hold the receipt, hold your breath, and hopefully you pass out and you wake up into realization that, yeah, we did it. And Coach was telling the truth.
Fair enough. Tim, any last things for Coach? I think.
No, I would just say if anybody wants to get hyped for any particular reason, just watch Coach. I mean, I'm sitting here in a chair and I'm hyped and I can't do anything about it at the moment, so I have to wait till after the show. I'm going to go do Scott's push-ups.
There you go.
There you go.
I appreciate that. But here's the thing: I don't want our hype to get confused in belief. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I appreciate that, and that's really what we're doing out here. Like, you got to feel that in your spirit, because then you're going to go out there and you're going to execute. Like for me, I talk to my guys all the time. I just want you to be great. If you're being great and we're still losing, we're winning, because you can go get you a job at the NFL or at the next level. Now you're able to create a legacy. That's what matters to me. It's not just, hey, I got these guys, they don't mean nothing to me but wins. And now I won a championship and now to hell with them. Like, nah, bro, I want you for your last name on the back of your jersey to actually mean something. Not that you're just out here giving it everything that you think that you got. Nah, there's more to it. Again, I was laying on the ground dying. They said I'd never play football again. I was supposed to have my hand amputated. The belief, the will to never give up. That's what it really takes. And I'm the coach that says, yo, you really need a shot? That's all you're asking? Because that's all I needed in life. I just needed a shot. I needed someone to believe in me. And that's why I'm the coach that I am today, because I believe in these guys. Now, there's guys that, you know, sometimes you got to let them go. And I let them know about it. Like, hey, bro, I'm here. I believe in you. I need you to believe in yourself just a little bit more. But right now is not the time.
Well, Kurt Warner never won an Arena Bowl.
Come on. So, but he's a legend.
Exactly. But yeah, Coach, you know, I don't want you to take you away from your family any longer. We already have, and really appreciate your time tonight. It's, you know, you're the kind of guy we like having on the show because you can just run with it. It makes it a lot easier for us. So.
No, I appreciate you guys 100%, man. I love watching your show. I love watching what you guys are doing. You know, being able to build this thing up. You know, it takes, you know, guys like you to just take that leap of faith and say, look, we're going to talk football. You know, we're going to talk about it, whether it's good, whether it's bad, whether it's indifferent. You know, I'm going to run with the narrative that's on the surface right now because that's what's hot. And then when it switches up, it's not like, oh, you know, some of these people, they're like, oh, my favorite team is, and then they start losing. And you're like, oh, well, now my favorite team is. Like, no, bro, stick and stay, man. Stick and stay, because now your word don't mean nothing.
There you go.
So I appreciate you guys 100%. Thanks for having us on the Washington Wolfpack.
Thank you. We'll get a good howl in before you head out.
Let's go. Let's go, baby. On that raspy, because we beat Beaumont and we ain't finished.
All right. Thank you, Coach. We'll talk to you soon.
Appreciate you.
So, Tim, in all your years in this game, have you ever met a coach quite like him?
Passionate, man. That's what you like to see, because
passion and energy.
Yeah, because, you know, a coach like him can create lore easily. And he's right. Doesn't necessarily have to be about wins and losses. But it easily can create a lore that people will remember. It can be the little things at first. But then a winning organization, sky's the limit. Sky's the limit. And he could be a very special coach, for sure. For sure.
I think
whether it be in Everett or whether it be elsewhere.
Yeah, I think the glove thing can catch on. Like that makes a lot of sense to me.
Yeah, I agree. The smart, if people think about it, it's a smart idea. Why are penalty flags, you know, why are challenge flags different colors than a penalty flag?
Mm-hmm. Visibility.
Why is coach wearing the gloves versus somebody else in their you know what I mean? It's the smart idea.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
sure.
I mean, so I'm glad he finally got that quick, because, you know, honestly, a lot of us have been talking about that. It's like, what's this about? What's this about? We've got our ongoing chat with a couple other folks, and that's come up a couple times. What is the deal there? So I'm all for it. I'm ready to see more coaches do that.
Mm-hmm. 100%. So, I mean, and as you're saying, we're talking about it before. Yeah, if you want to bring up the scores and stuff like that, is kind of what led us into why we wanted to bring coach into the fan zone this week. It's just, you know, as I said, it was a walk-off win.
Mm-hmm. Multiple points scored in the last minute.
Yeah, they maybe wanted one of the past 2 weeks, but you got to admit, Scott, that the game, you know, no matter what they may be saying over in Bird Nation, whether they think it was because, you know, two straight weeks out west or whatever it may have been, you know, they showed out on national television for one on Vice, probably one of the best games we've seen so far this season, or one of them up there. And they come away with a win, which they need. And now there's this stretch that they could take advantage of potentially becoming, as I said before, when we're talking to coach, right now the league is 2 tiers. Mm-hmm. Just by looking at the records alone, it's 2 tiers. And they can easily move up to that next point. It just depends on taking advantage of the opponents and getting the wins when they need them.
Yeah, you know, and like I was telling him, you know, I was at that Nashville game where they only scored 3 points, and you know, I've been to some bad arena football games over the years. You know, I've seen them; they're horrible. it didn't feel as bad as the score was. I mean, 3 is a bad score without a doubt. No one can ever deny that, but it didn't feel that way in person. You know, maybe it's the energy in the crowd in Nashville. I don't know. It just felt like they were doing more, even though they weren't getting it done. They were doing more.
Right. And you know, to be fair too, I mean, you know, nobody likes to see an arena team score 3 points, but we've also seen some games this year also where, you know, one of the games this weekend, it was 7-7 at halftime. That's not arena football.
Well, you know, end of regulation or 28-28.
Yeah. Sometimes the games are off for whatever the particular reason. You know, you and I have talked about when seeing some of these quarterbacks that really are, for some reason, are really off. We don't know why. Things are just not going their way. But, you know, as I said,
nature of the game.
It's funny to say, you know, 3 points in arena football is not good. But it's funny. As you said, it's not like it didn't seem like just 3 points. There was more there to be taken. It's just a matter of, you know, the team at that point was not able to execute. But again, as I said, you go to the next week and then you go the next week. You know, I said the walk-off itself, I'm sure, was huge. And as I said, it just sets up the next couple of weeks.
Well, the first game that comes to mind in terms of just bad was that 20-22 Albany Southwest Kansas game early last year. It was horrible. The game felt slow and sluggish and just not a good game. That game felt way worse than this game where they only put up 3.
Yeah.
You know, you know, if there's anybody out there watching this, I doubt there is. It's never been to one of these games. There's a feel for these games. You get, you know, sometimes you see a one score game and it really wasn't. You know, it was really a blowout that just happened to get close. There's just a feel for it, and like I said, I just didn't feel that sluggishness in that 45-3.
Yeah,
but like I said, they go to Albany and are 1 score away from beating the champs. I mean, that said a lot about that team.
Oh, for sure. For sure. And you know, it's funny. We talk about this. We talked about the Cats before with their 3 points. The next game of the week, Cats and Oregon, that really, that's not what really wasn't a good game. You know what I mean? It's 60. I don't know whether they, you know, the 21 points was flattering for Oregon. You know, it seemed that Nashville was in control the entire game. But you know, as I said, have any of the games really been perfect this year? Not really. But they've been most of the time they've been competitive.
Despite that Nashville Kentucky game was pretty perfect.
Yeah.
That one was pretty perfect. But again, not a shootout. Nope. But yeah, you rolling through the scores, you know, 21-64. You got Washington's next opponent only scoring 21 this week. That's going to be an interesting game.
These two teams have really, they've kicked the poop out of each other. You know, I think that last year they went, both teams, they're 2-2. They went 2-2 versus each other last year. I know Washington won the first 2, and I think Oregon won the next 2 after that. So, you know,
they know each other well.
Rivals, for sure. Do they know each other very well? For sure. It just depends on what, you know, we'll have to see this week on HTN and on YouTube and on the league's website how this game turns out. So,
and then we had, what was it? I think we determined it was our second ever tie in the AF1, or not tie, but overtime game in the AF1.
Yep, second ever tie. Second ever overtime game. Time. Yep, in the regular season. It was that was a sloppy game. That was the 7-7. That was the 7-7 game at halftime.
Yeah. When that was end on a fumble. That's a rough way to end the game. I mean,
yeah, but still, you know, what's funny, and You look at the overtime, and if I'm not mistaken, because I think this overtime clock starts at 15, or does it start at 10?
I think it's 15.
I'm trying to remember because I saw the clock and I was like,
ultimately it doesn't matter.
No, but how can I understand you want to get points. Minnesota drives down, and I think it took him 7 minutes to get 3 points.
Yeah.
Now, was it a matter of you just want to dink and dunk so you don't turn the ball over and at least get points? Because you notice in overtime things change. Is that they went for 3. Kicking field goals or attempting field goals in the AF1 that have, I think it's slowly starting to change. I think Coach Walker did the exact same thing in the Kentucky game. He kicked a field goal just to get points. So
it depends on the game, though. Like that absolutely made sense in the overtime game where there's only been 28 points scored by each team. There's a good chance you're going to get a stop. They've been getting stops the entire game.
Oh,
so
yeah,
kick
for
the
sure.
Field goal. That one makes sense to me. I don't know that I totally agree with Kentucky going for field goals in that situation. It's Albany. They are going to score.
No, but I think he was trying to get momentum. Coach, and this was early in the game anyways. So I think Coach was just trying to get momentum. That's really all it should be. Some of these teams, we've seen it more often than not that where teams have the potential opportunity of doing a double dip, scoring at the end of the first half and getting the ball to start off the second.
I will say that's a lost art.
I agree, but the problem is that they're trying for these. They're within the 10, potentially last play. I probably would try to go for points, not necessarily the touchdown, but points. 3 points could make a difference. Any difference could have made the difference in the Arsenal Minnesota game. So I can't complain about that. By the way, quick aside, huge thanks and props to the Minnesota organization. I was finally able to get my hands on an AF1 football. So I want to thank Jacob, their owner out there, for doing what he was able to do. I really appreciate it. So,
yeah, and that's just to kind of touch on that too, Tim. We've talked about this offline that there's some good people in this league right now, coaches and owners, across the board. I don't know that I've ever felt this connected with an ownership group across the whole league with coaches as we are across the whole league. No, I've known them, but I feel much more connected to them than I ever have before. I don't know if you've got the same.
I think it's different. I think in the early days when it's more money means mostly at the time it was more ego. You know what I mean? But it's funny. We can look at Nashville as an example. They brought in, I think it was Travis Tritt. They brought in whoever they did in the early early 90s, late 90s for the original iteration of the Cats. Jeff Jarrett is not. It's not the same. It's funny. You bring in celebrity ownership, but it's different. It's different this time around. You know what I mean? And I'll give another aside too. I don't know how this is going to get, because I know it's completely outside of arena football. But you have billionaire Mark Cuban. He just became part owner of the Brantford Badgers. I think it's Brantford Badgers of the Canadian Elite Basketball League. I didn't see that coming.
He at least likes basketball.
Think. But it's different. And as I said, it's I also think it starts at the top. Jerry's been around for such a long time. The entire, everybody in the head office has been around for such a long time. I think they're trying to potentially from the past, is Jerry trying to right the rights that he felt that he missed opportunities? Potentially, yeah, but he's doing a good job. I know there was a Jerry sighting this week on one of the games, so
He's usually at the Vice game. He usually makes it to those. But
so
you mentioned Jeff Jarrett, and one of the things that surprised me was actually how hands-on he was at the games.
Really?
Players,
interesting.
Yeah,
well, you know what? Actually, I'm not surprised because if everybody thinks about it, he started TNA. If you're a wrestling fan, you know who Jeff Jarrett is, obviously within WWF and WWE days, slap nuts and that whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
But he was the person for TNA.
Mm-hmm.
Total nonstop impact, total nonstop action, wrestling in its early days. It was his baby.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not, you saying that, Scott, I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised in any way, shape, or form. I'm curious if there is any way that we could pull off a coup and talk to Jeff here on the show. I'm sure there'll be many questions that he will be able to answer, not necessarily also from his wrestling days, but to today. Because why do these guys want to get involved? What, I don't want to say convinced him to join the organization, but what was the one thing that said, I have to get in now?
Mm-hmm.
Because I think convincing is the wrong. I think I don't know if you agree with me on that. Convincing is really a wrong word to use in this case.
It's a little negative connotation to it.
Yeah, exactly.
But like I said, I'm just amazed. You go to the games in Clarksville, and Jeff Fisher's signing autographs at some point and available for everybody there. And Jeff Jarrett is also greeting people, signing autographs. Like I said, I watch him just sort through these player photos for them to sign for the fans after the game. And just right there with I'm assuming an intern, I don't know who it was, but with just the workers basically.
Mm-hmm.
Mike Ditka didn't do that for the Rush.
Nope.
John Elway was a little more involved, but he still wasn't quite that involved.
Well, JBJ also in Philly.
Mm-hmm.
At one point. I mean, if everybody remember, I think besides those two's claim to fame in the mini show series that they did when it came to the old television show Las Vegas, doing those mini movies.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody remembers the double bird coming from JBJ. Was it? Great. It was on ABC. It was on ESPN. It was on ESPN, I think, where they caught him doing the double bird.
So ESPN or NBC, one of the two.
I think it was ESPN. I think it was ESPN.
But yeah, I mean, but he cared. That's one thing you guys give him. He genuinely cared about that team and
Jaws. We can't. If we're talking about, we can't forget to talk about Jaws.
And Jaws was always that getting his hands dirty. He had no problem.
You know what's funny?
Get his hands dirty.
Now that we bring it up, hearing Coach talk the way that he did today, and being able to hype people up, it's kind of very similar to what Jaws was able to do. Because I think you and I are at one of the award ceremonies, or no, it was the media day, and Jaws was up there speaking. And I think just like Coach was doing today, Jaws had that type of speech where you just wanted to run through walls.
Oh yeah. Jaws is incredible. The one that stands out to me is when he announced AFL China.
Mm-hmm.
And man, I was ready to give him all my money to invest in that. Like I was like, this is incredible. This is the greatest thing. Let's do this. Let's go. Let's do it tomorrow. Like,
yeah.
Jaws was just super motivational. Yeah. Unlike anybody I've ever seen.
Yeah.
There you go. Charles. I was there for the double birds.
Yes. By the way, we didn't forget about the last game of the week, the Battle of the Unbeatens. What does it say for you? These two coaches have gone back and forth so much over the past, we could say really 3 years, even though we all like to forget about the AFL that what it was in 24. They know each other quite well. They are a true expansion team, like they were when he was pretty dominant in Billings.
Mm-hmm.
What did this say, do you think, Scott, to the Barrels organization? Obviously, Coach will have them going again for the next game.
Yeah,
they are in the thick of things currently. So, but it's what was your thought?
Future-wise, I'm not worried about the Barrels. They're going to get better. They have a rookie quarterback. I think he was flustered, clearly flustered. He threw more picks. I don't think did he throw a pick previously this season? Not many.
Oh, I don't know, but you got to admit though too, the way the Albany defense was, that one pick that they had in, I think it was early in the first half, was just absolutely. It's one of those ones that the DB knows the game quite well, and he was able to yoink, that type of thing. So,
and it's just I think you got a rookie quarterback going up against the veteran. I just wish the game would have been with Josh Kolka. I think it would have been great for the Firebirds. I'm glad Castronova's back, and whoever took my money last week when I said my money's on him not playing, I'm glad he's back. He's definitely the best possible person there. But I think from a storyline, from a interest standpoint, having the two rookies there would have made that game way more interesting.
Well, then Kolka wins. Then Sam wins MVP this week.
Yeah, of course. But that's actually, he only threw for 3 touchdowns.
Yeah, three for 3, ran for 3. Yes, and we're getting ahead of ourselves for Fans on Offline. But let's shift real quickly. Because we're going to talk about the games coming up this week too. But let's shift real quickly. And I should have mentioned this to you earlier, unless you're totally surprised when you have these things ready on a heartbeat. Did we get our first ever championship ring where the lid came off of it for arena football?
That is incredibly slick. I'll go ahead and pull up the picture of that.
Oh, good man. That was like
sharp.
What? Those even nicer than the 99 ones. Now, mind you, the separating rings weren't a thing back in 99. Those are really, I think, have only become a real thing in sports in the last 7 years, maybe.
Yeah, about that.
So I know one of those rings finally made it up here for the last Grey Cup champ. That finally made it up here. I know it's been in football all the time. I mean, now they got LEDs in these damn things now, man. I think the Rams for theirs, there was an LED in theirs.
This is slick. I mean, I gotta admit, there's an eBay listing out there for the Washington Valor ring, and it's a straight Jostens High School ring.
Yeah,
this is pretty. This is incredibly pretty.
I would love to know. And this is Mary. We should potentially ask Albany ownership, unless somebody happens to know offhand, maybe in Flock Support or something like that. What these rings cost to make per ring? I really am curious. Are these going to be the Tim Markham's cubic zirconia days? I don't think so. And if anybody gets that reference, props to you. Your arena football.
This is not to nitpick, Tim, but that looks like a 50-yard or 100-yard field.
Yes, it does. Yeah, it does.
I mean, still looks slick.
It does look good. It does look good.
Then they also engraved the inside too.
Underneath too, is it undefeated?
Yeah, it's.
I guess they can make that a pendant. We didn't get to see if that upper portion becomes a pendant, because that's what they're doing a lot of these days. These sections that come off the ring can be turned into a pendant. Or a necklace.
That would be cool too. But yeah, sorry, I'm pulling these up on the fly. So
I would love it. I was waiting for these glam shots.
They're like I said, kudos to the Firebirds. These things are slick. You did a great job on it. Yeah. So,
and then the unveiling, obviously, of the banner this week. You notice, by the way, it said AF1 champion. It did not say Arena Crown champion.
Yeah. Well, that leaves if they decide they want to change championship name later. Then
it's true.
So be it.
Fair point.
Yeah. 100-yard field or not, it's a gorgeous ring. They did a good job.
I love the idea of what they did. Being able to do that, and it's a first. As far as I know, it is a first in indoor and arena football.
Charles brings up Lexi Colkin, another uniform. there is, I think our quarterback play across the board's better this year than it was in the past, but it's a shame that he's sitting on the bench. Like, just a good young quarterback learning the game.
Well, it's funny. It's like what Coach said. The comment here from Charles is kind of similar to what Coach said earlier, is that, yes, you need to have 2 starting quarterbacks on your team. You have to.
You do.
You have to. And Albany, I think, for the first 2 weeks did not.
No. Another
that could have been a disaster.
Yeah, Kentucky did for week 1, but then didn't after that.
Exactly.
So, it's a scary move to go without. But like I said, from a storyline, man, I wish Kolka was still playing in that game. But it's good to see Sam back. He's phenomenal. He is what he is.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and with
he is the MVP.
With Albany's win, 15 straight. No matter what somebody else may tell you, that they did tie the modern day arena football record for most consecutive regular season wins, held by 3 teams.
Now we got to figure out wins total, not just regular season.
I have it. I got to look at it because they're currently at 17. I think it's close. I think they're within 2 of the all-time record.
Yeah, though they can't be too much more because.
No, I think they're within 2. I think it's 18. I have to go back and check. I think it's either Arizona. It's not San Jose. I have to go back and check.
Yeah. So we talked about this earlier. There's definitely was 3 tiers. Now we got 2 tiers.
Mm-hmm.
And the one I'm kind of most surprised about is Minnesota. I don't know that I would have thought that they'd be 3-1 at this point.
What I think is funny is that they're 3-1, and they are a +1 in points, 4 points against. +1.
They're playing it right on that line. But there's movement to be made. I mean, if like it's kind of playing that what if scenario. That what if scenario, if Washington does go on a tear, wins their next 6, they're 7-3, going having Nashville coming into town, who would have played Albany twice prior to that, they could both theoretically be 7-3 at that point.
Yep.
No one would have expected that if that happens. No one would have expected that.
Anything can happen. Anything can happen. Because if you think about it, you see when Beaumont had their first win in week 2, if I remember correctly. Oceanside won in week 1 versus Beaumont.
It hasn't won since.
Hasn't won since. Yes, by the end of the year, we'll have 3 tiers again. But right now, you have 2 tiers.
I don't know that there is a worse team in the league right now. I think our power rankings are going to be very interesting this week when all's said and done.
They can be tough. They can be tough because somebody might say, well, Michigan is 1-4. Yes, they are they have the worst winning percentage in the league, but does that mean that they're better than X? Does that mean they're last?
Well,
but they're all subjective, as you and I both know. These polls are subjective, So,
well, you look at you brought up a good examples. You look at Michigan; they're 1-4. Their 4 losses came against Albany, Nashville, and 2 to Minnesota.
Yeah,
those are the top 4 teams. 2 of the top, 3 of the top 4 teams. So, I mean, man, is there a worse team? I genuinely don't know. Like I said, I'm glad we do collective rankings and average that stuff out, because I wouldn't want my name attached to what I'm going to put in there. I don't know that any of us do.
Yeah.
But looking forward to this week.
Yeah, which is I don't have it in front of me. Which one's the Vice game of the week?
I actually don't know which one Vice would be. I don't know. I'm not even sure where to find that.
Vice. It should be.
Vice will have it.
Yeah, Vice will have it.
I will look that up.
We're so bad. We're so bad at this.
All right. I mean, that Washington Oregon's the one that I'm circling this week. I think
it's only through Friday. You can find it elsewhere. It's only through Friday currently on their website.
Of course, we're not gonna make it easy on us, right? But and actually I pulled this from the league schedule, so I don't think it shows on there. Yeah, that Washington Oregon's the one that really kind of intrigues me this week. Like, is Washington, did they get that monkey completely off their back? Is it, are they going to run over Oregon? Oregon hasn't looked great. Their only win has come against Washington.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Oceanside, Nashville's AF1 fan points out, Oceanside shows flashes. Nashville's tough nut to crack. Like, they're...
Yeah. But let's hope Oceanside has helmet. I know it's silly, but let's see their completed look. Let's get those helmet stickers.
There are Cleveland Browns.
Yeah.
I mean, I will say it's unlikely the Barrels game will be the Vice TV, since that's the only Sunday game of the week.
Yeah. Oh, wait a minute. It just depends on what time of the games are at. Duh. We know the games are at 5.
Good call.
They're at 5. They're 6. They're at 6 Eastern.
So let's see what we got. 5 p.m. Eastern is Cats. 7 p.m. Eastern is Michigan.
I think this is one of the few 7 p.m. games.
So Albany, Michigan.
I think it's Albany, Michigan.
Oh. Tom saying.
Oh, no. Tom says it's Oceanside, Nashville.
Yep. So there you go. And actually, I'll be at both the Oceanside Nashville game and the Beaumont Kentucky game this week.
Cool. Thanks, Tom. By the way,
double header.
And thanks, AF1 fan also.
Yep. I don't know. Yeah, now it makes me wonder if he was talking about that being a interesting game, or if that was a Vice game. Which one he was telling us?
I wasn't sure. Yeah,
but it'll be a fun weekend.
Let's see what happened with Oceanside. Because Nashville, despite the win last week, again, it's funny. They're still winning, but Nashville's offense has been hit and miss. Now, I know we can say, well, the Oceanside's doing the traveling.
Mm-hmm.
But this will be their farthest Eastern opponent so far. They'll be traveling cross country.
Colca's been having a hard time.
This game, I think, could actually be. It's funny to say. I'm saying this now. I'm gonna eat my words, but I actually think that this game could be close. I think it could easily be on par of how exciting the Washington Albany game was in Washington.
The Oceanside can put up a fight for sure.
Mm-hmm. I think so too. Sorry to our friends at the World of Football. I think Albany's going to win this game. I think they're going to set the all-time record for regular season wins.
Yeah, I mean,
Michigan is need. I think they can stay in it, but Michigan can need something.
I want to see Michigan put up a Washington type performance against.
It's up and down. It's up and down with their quarterback situation. I think that's the current issue. And with all honesty, and I'm sure Coach will like us to hear this, I think Washington easily should be favored in this game versus Oregon. They seem to be collectively more on the page than anything else. Oregon, again, they won the first game of the year, and then that's it. Washington currently does have the momentum. Sure, yeah, people are saying, it's only one win, Tim. I think it's how Washington did it.
Jacob's going for Oceanside.
There you go.
And of course, our football buddies here.
Here's my Monopoly money. Take it. And then Beaumont, Kentucky. Kentucky's going to get off this. I think they are going to, because of what happened last week, they are going to wreck Beaumont.
Yeah.
I
have a feeling I'm in to see 2 home team wins this weekend.
Yeah.
It's, I don't know. It'll be fun. Another fun weekend. Lots of miles on my lots of miles in my car. I'm so glad gas is so cheap right now.
You're being facetious, I hope, right? What is it a gallon?
Oh, it's pushing 5. Depending on where you're at.
Excuse me, what? How much?
Yeah, it's pushing 5.
Holy crap! Well, mind you, I shouldn't be talking. I'm up here and where I go by liters, where it's $1.90 a liter, and I think it's about almost 4 liters to a gallon.
Almost 4 liters,
something like that. So do the math. Yeah. So we're like close to California prices.
Yeah, that's insane. But
mind you, Quebec,
you know what? I'm not driving my Dodge Ram to these games right now, so that makes a big difference.
Well, you're not gonna drive your F1 your F-150?
Yeah. No, we got ourselves a minivan. Much better gas mileage. But anyhow, yeah, it'll be
F-150 Lightning. You'd be okay. It's all electric.
Hey, there you go. That I wouldn't mind. Yeah. Jacob, I love this jersey. I had a very nice favor done for me. Yeah. I don't know that I want to
opportunity
out anybody.
You had a very good opportunity.
Yeah, I got incredibly lucky with this. Let's just say that.
Hey, honestly, I would say this, knowing just that. Reach out to Royal Retros. If there is enough want, and if Dustin can speak with the league about it, by the way, that's who heads up Royal Retros, if anybody didn't know. If there's enough want, the league may greenlight it. So reach out to Royal Retros, reach out to the league. If there can be enough, want, I'm sure they can make it.
I will say there's a lot of really cool gear out there too.
Those satin jackets
for the league.
We even talked about that out here online. That's crazy. The satin jackets, and they're made per person. So they're not sitting there in the warehouse. They're made to order.
It's screaming and they have them for all the teams too.
And the league. Yeah.
In the league. I'll share my screen real quick. Like these things, if y'all haven't seen these, we don't get anything. These are we're not getting sponsored by these folks or anything.
No.
They do some good work. But yeah, you want to leave
Royal Retros and use the code. Don't.
I mean, technically, you got Arena Fan one still, right?
Yeah, I have one. I have one from my Al's podcast too. Yeah,
and I think there's an AF1 code as well. I don't really.
There is
commercials.
Oh, what's the commercial? See that would be good to hype. Help fans in Dustin. Is it AF1 fan? AF1 fan 10.
Yes,
I think it's AF1 fan 10.
Yep, I think you're right.
For 10% off your very first order.
Every team and the league, these things are calling my name, but I'm not forking out $200 for these things. I like them. I like them a lot. I'm dying to get one, but no, I'm good for right now.
Dustin goes, you know what? To be fair, if you think about it, Scott, if you used your code, you'll get an extra $20 off of it, man.
There you go. Drop it under $200, right? Right there.
Yeah, but still, it's still 10%. And depending on which state you're in, the taxes may be lower than so you may not be spending that much. Exactly. And I think it's free shipping because of the price.
Mm-hmm. They look so good. Like they got good gear. Definitely check these folks out if you haven't been to Royal Retros. They've got some just absolutely incredible stuff. They got current jerseys, retro jerseys.
Yep.
These guys
some
do
really
good work.
They got some Under Armour stuff there.
Yeah. No, definitely check these folks out if you haven't done it yet. All throwback Albany jersey.
Mm-hmm.
Anyhow, we're just jabbering at this point.
No.
But then again, we could do this all night, every night. There you go, throwback Cats jersey.
Yep.
There's people. You go to the Clarksville. There's people wearing these jerseys out there. These throwback ones.
That's cool.
I've been very impressed with the crowd and honestly, with both crowds, Nashville and Kentucky.
If I'm not mistaken, that one you showed me too, I think the guy wearing the throwback Detroit Drive jersey was also a Royal Retros jersey, if I remember correctly.
Mm-hmm. That was the World of Football folks that ran into that one.
Yes.
I ran into.
Yeah, that's right. The
Thunder Bears.
First game in
Thunder
Saginaw,
Bears,
yeah.
Clint Dozell jersey that I ran into out in Nashville. But yeah, Cats, they all show up in their stuff. Kentucky, for a brand new team, their gear is all over that building, and it's slick seeing that how much they've adopted all the merch. Plus, Kentucky's got probably, I think, the best merch in the league. They got some cool stuff there.
Yeah, that's true.
So,
Jacob, it's not soccer. I don't see them doing it every single year. I think that they will say, because remember, if you think about it, this is the second year in a row they've had to change because they switched providers. That's
ultimately what it comes down to: who's a provider.
Yeah, and if you a lot of these teams will have 3 sets. I mean, we've seen I think all the sets now. No, we've only seen 2 of the sets for most of the teams. I know there are a few surprises supposed to be coming out, but
so we're still waiting on the Monsters' first home games. So.
We've seen all of Albany's. That's one thing we can say. We've seen all of Albany's, all 3 of them.
Yep, Detroit Drive, Detroit Fury. They're both Royal Retros at that game. Appreciate Adam. Anyhow.
Yes, sir.
Coach wore me out.
He's a good dude. Good dude. We'll have him back for sure. Have him back for sure.
For sure. And then, well, like I said, fun weekend coming up. Lots of changes. The power rankings will be out Friday. So keep an eye out for those because I guarantee we're going to see some movement this week on the power rankings. Just period.
Oh, I wouldn't be surprised. And fingers crossed, we will be the segment this week on the Vice halftime show. But we'll see.
Yeah, they preempted us with Sam, which all right, fine, I get it. Sam's more important than us. But all right, folks. Until next time, stay safe, and we'll be seeing you.